Okay, hi, I'm Dr. Ken Snyder, and this is Betty Contreras. And one day in the not too distant future, it's going to be Dr. Betty Contreras. And welcome to another edition of the Chronicles of Betty. And we're hoping that this will be an inspiration to young and old people alike. If you've watched the earlier episodes, and if not, please go back and do. You'll notice how Betty's climb from a life of poverty in Mexico, coming across the border, and with the 5th grade education, and what she's done with her life since. And it's truly inspirational. And I feel she's just on the launch pad. I can't wait to follow her career. Betty, let's go back to the very first day. If you've watched future episodes, or I should say past episodes, I'm so excited about your future that you'll know that I discovered Betty, as it were, in Yoshi's drive-thru. And just the way she took our order, I was just so excited because I was looking for someone at the front desk here at the Charity Dental Clinic at St. Vincent de Paul, and someone who obviously spoke Spanish and could put the patients and their parents at ease and make them feel good and welcome. And just in one pass-through at the Yoshi's drive-thru, just the way she took our order, and there was another person in the car who spoke Spanish, but just watching their interaction, I pulled her onto the front and I said, ask her if she wants to be in dental. And she said yes, and you thought you were going to be a janitor.
A janitor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you, let's go back for a moment. When you were coming up the steps for the interview, what was going through your mind?
I don't know. I was really nervous. First of all, because I didn't speak the language, and never in a million years I thought that I was going to be an assistant. I really thought that I was going to be cleaning the offices during nighttime. And then I remember I came. They took me to the back, to the first room, and you were working on a little patient. And that's when I knew too that you were a doctor. I didn't know that you were a dentist. I knew you work in the medical field, but I didn't know what you were because you were just wearing scrubs. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's a doctor, which you were a doctor, but I didn't know you were a dentist. And yeah, just looking to what you were doing, I was still nervous because I didn't know what I was gonna say. I didn't know if you were gonna ask me questions, and I was not gonna be able to respond. But little by little, throughout the day, I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's nice.
And does any patient that first day or first couple days, does any patient stick out in your mind?
I don't know if it was that same day, but you were working still on a little patient, and you were doing a crown. You were doing a pulpotomy. And then the patient was crying and crying, and then I remember seeing what you were doing with the handpiece and everything, and I was like, whoa. It was huge for me because I never been to a dentist. I didn't know what a dentist was. Like, I didn't even know what a toothbrush was. So when I was looking, and there when you were opening the cavity and going with the formal creosol and all the crazy things in there, and then you ended up doing the crown too, and then the kid at the end gave you a hug. And before that, the patient was crying, and then somehow it was good, and then at the end, a hug, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, that is really nice. So.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't familiar, a pulpotomy is like doing a root canal on a pediatric patient where the tooth has become abscessed or the decay is into the pulp, and it's pretty painful, but something you have to do to get them out of pain. So after being there a couple of days and seeing some of those procedures, did you feel like, well, yeah, I want to learn more, or did you feel like, oh man, this is like a little freaky?
No, I didn't think I wanted to learn more, but I was just like surprised because, like I said, when I was little, I never went to the dentist. I think I used the toothbrush when I came here to the United States, which I was 11, but I don't know, like, and I didn't even think that I wanted to be a dentist at that time. I just thought that it was cool that someone could do something like that on the teeth, like making holes and then, seal the holes, and the patient was happy. So it was interesting, yeah.
Up to that time, had you yourself, be it, obviously you said you hadn't been to the dentist, but had you received any shots like vaccinations or anything? Like that?
I remember. I don't know how many. But I do remember. I don't remember going to the doctor a lot, just when it was time for vaccinations, but not like if we were like every year checkup and things like that. No.
You didn't get to do that.
No.
Did the needle make you nervous when we were using the needle on the patients or that?
When I came to shadow the first days, no. I was just curious. I don't know.
And I think one of the girls gave you some scrubs and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And then, like when you were coming back then the next day to work, and originally, like I said, I thought you would be at the front desk, but you were so good in the back with the kids and putting them at ease and everything. And of course, you spoke the language and could get right to the heart of the matter. All I remember is kids going, "No piano, no piano," like I don't want that, whatever it was, the drill, the handpiece.
Yep.
And you would like kind of talk them out of that mode, that mindset.
Yeah.
But when you would see the kids, getting the needle and so forth. Well, actually, I was talking about when you had your scrubs. When you're getting dressed that day to come, I mean, did anyone that you were living with, did they go like, "Wow, what do you got there? Or what's going on?"
No, they didn't. They didn't say anything, but I felt kind of like special. Like I was like, "Oh my God, I'm working with the doctor. I'm the assistant of a doctor," and I don't know. I just felt like, even though they don't have education and I didn't even speak the language, but I felt like I was super smart because I was working with the doctor. So it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. I remember the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and you picked up on stuff so fast. I mean, they have like how a fish takes to water or something, but you were you weren't afraid to try things. I mean, there were even times I was like kind of amazed because I would be thinking, and before I could tell you, like, oh, by the way, hold the tongue back or do this or that. I mean, you could like anticipate, and even to this day, I mean, you have a tremendous skill for anticipating even what instruments do the different doctors need. It's right there and everything. And yeah, it was just great having you back there. At what point did it enter your mind that, hey, I might want to be a dentist or a hygienist or this? I think I found myself in this profession.
I think after taking the X-ray certifications, that I had a hard time with them because of the language, obviously, and I took it 3 times. And when I took the third one, which I passed the exam, obviously, I was like, oh well, if I was able to pass the X-ray exam, maybe I could be a hygienist, a dentist, like you just have to try and try and try. And
yeah.
That's when I started. And then that's when we started taking students too. And then I would see what they would do. And then I would just like see, like, oh, I want to do the same thing. Like I want to be in there. And, that's when I started looking at that, maybe like 7 years after.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, like I say, you're destined to do that, and just a class or so, and you'll be ready to go. And I might add that when you failed the X-ray exam, it wasn't the part taking the X-rays themselves.
No,
I mean, you were great. It was just the language problem of the written portion. Yeah, as far as some of the dental students would say, "Can you take this X-ray for me?"
Yeah.
Because they knew how good you were. One little story was kind of funny. You were with us for a while, and you had a relative in Mexico who said that her son worked at St. Vincent de Paul. And so can you tell us a little bit about that story, how that happened?
Yeah, so it was this person that I knew since I was little from Mexico. And then, so I guess they were here way before me here in the United States. And then when I finally came to the United States, I got in contact with them, and then after a while, I got in contact with them, and then so I was talking to the mom of this person, a guy, and she started telling me about this guy that he works at this place and he's a doctor and a few other things, and I was saying like, okay, what kind of doctor, where does he work? So she names this place, St. Vincent de Paul, and I was like, oh really? Like, I worked there, so I don't know. I never saw him, so I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make.
But she said he was a dentist, right?
Yeah. So I didn't want to make her feel bad because I knew that I work with the dentist. So then I hang up, and I was like, why would she say that? So then the next day, for my surprise, on my way in, he was getting out, but he wasn't a dentist. He worked here for this company, but as a truck driver. And he saw me and he just went like, oops. So then, like, it was kind of funny that she said that he was a dentist, so I don't know.
Of all places to
yeah.
pick.
Well, it's a small world, right?
Yeah. So do you think he lied to her, or do you think she knew he wasn't the dentist, that she was just trying to...
I think she was just trying to pretend that he had a good job and he was...
Impress you and everything,
Yeah, so it was funny.
Well, one day you'll be the dentist, so you
hopefully,
can say, no, I'm the dentist at St. Vincent de Paul. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for future episodes of the Chronicles of Betty. And if you would like to help us with our mission here at St. Vincent de Paul, in helping people who have no dental insurance, no access to dental care whatsoever, help us to restore their smile, and both children and adults. It means so much. For the kids, the educational part, a lot of times they don't want to raise their hand in class, or they don't want their picture taken because of how their smile looks, or missing or crowded teeth or decayed teeth. They say that the number one reason children miss school is due to dental pain. And I believe it, because some of the kids we come in, I mean, you could almost pick any tooth in their mouth and that could be the one hurting them. And then with adults, not only the self-esteem, but also, we talk about the health benefits, of course, and then we also talk about the economic benefits, because a lot of times once these patients get their mouth restored, they have an earning power of maybe 3 or 4 or even more times of what they would have just by how they smile, and then they start to take care of themselves. And so it has a huge economic impact on all these patients. But anyway, if you would like to help us, you can see below how you can do that. And until next time, be true to your teeth.
And they won't
be false to you. Bye-bye.